So, good evening, everyone. Uh, Welcome to the week 12 of the live interactive session of the Joy of Computing using Python. I'm Vikas, a PhD scholar at IDRP Space Science and Technology at IIT Jodhpur. This is something about me. More details you can find here. This is the classroom code where you can find all the materials. The schedule was Tuesday 6 to 8 p.m. Today is the last class, so I think that is irrelevant now. But all the video recordings of this classes will be available on the YouTube channel here. Okay. So before moving further, if you have any queries regarding the questions in this week or anything taught, you can ask.
Sir,
And
is there any prediction that more questions are going to come from the initial week and lesser questions are going to come from the later weeks? Sir, is there anything like that?
no, it's nothing like that.
So because exam is very close and that's
Uh,
something. Sir.
the thing is that, like, frankly speaking, I don't deal with the exam part. Okay. And that is why we don't, in fact, we don't get to see the papers also. Like last year also, since that is fully online, and the only those person who attend the exam are able to see that. Okay. So that is why
Sir,
I'm
in the
not
hall
able.
ticket, sir, it's written that no paper is allowed to come out of the exam hall, and we are forced to give away the rough sheets and even the admit cards at the
Yeah,
time we are getting out of the hall.
yeah, that is exactly the thing that is done in all other online exams also. Okay. Any
Sir,
other query?
compiler, sir.
Yeah, Dhanush. Yeah, please. What you are
Sir, will
saying?
you use the compiler to compile the code?
Uh, I didn't get your question. Can you repeat it? Like there is some noise from your side.
Sir, will they give us compiler to compile the code or just to guess the output?
When we are doing the assignments here, you see the interpreter is inbuilt into the system. So such kind of questions can be there in which you have to like run the code or correct the code. Such can be there. For
Sir,
that
I think with
details,
options.
which option I didn't get what you're saying.
Sir, I think sir, this compiler, sir, whatever thing is you're saying this interpreter is pre-built. So sir, I think even if we are asked to correct the code, then sir we will be asked we will be given the options among them. Or sir we will be
Mm,
given just a free screen and we have to do
Uh,
like the way we did in
See,
programming assignment.
I think when this admit card is given, along with that, some mock test kind of thing will also be released, where you will be able to uh, interact with the system, like how the system will be. Like there is an online calculator that I am sure. Okay, you are not
Yes, sir.
allowed to carry the calculator, but as far as I know, if this compilation or interpreter thing you are saying, that can be question specific, and I am not sure whether it will be there or not. Uh, for this details, you can just post in the discussion forum. They will reply. The
But
TA's
sir,
concern is with us.
any mock test or anything is not yet released as of today, sir.
Mm, uh, you just post regarding this in this forum, discussion forum. I think there you will get the answer relating to the exam things you will be
Okay.
getting there. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. One more question, sir. If I face any kind of problem in the course, means after the last class, or if I find any problem, sir, will I be free to mail you? Means send you an email to
Yeah,
answer the question.
or you can just post in the classroom.
Okay,
That
sir.
will be fine. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anyone? Okay. So, since someone requested in the previous class, two things were requested. That one is errors. What are the different errors that are there in Python? And the other is books. Okay. Though I don't recommend any books at present. Okay. So, this is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's first cover what are the different kind of errors in Python that we may face. Okay, though that is not specifically covered in this course, but since you people requested, this is something. So whatever errors that we are facing, in fact, we faced a lot of errors while doing the code, and we sometimes we even solved them. Sometimes we found that okay, there is another way to do it. This is not the correct way, and different. So in total, whatever error comes can roughly be classified as a syntax error, runtime error, and a logical error. Okay, so syntax, when we say syntax is something that is equivalent to grammar. Okay, so if you are not following the grammar or the general conventions of the Python, then you will face some error that is called as syntax error. That is when it violates the rule of the Python language. Like you are not putting a bracket, you are not putting a colon, and these things. Missing colons, parentheses, and quotes. These are some common syntax error, or using a single equal to instead of double equals. Okay, and with this, there is one simple thing that you will not be able to run the code at all when you have a syntax error. Okay, so that the first thing that you face is syntax error. Like that is the common. Second type of error is runtime error. That is, you can say an error during the execution of code. Okay, and there are many. In fact, there are many runtime errors, and the most common kind of errors that we face. Syntax error is the most basic one, and that can be corrected by being attentive. Runtime errors are some. We will see some of the errors, like some common errors like name error, type error, index error, attribute error. There are other errors also. Okay. And the third one is logical error. And this is the most dangerous, you can say, that it will actually not generate any error in general, that the program runs without any syntax error, without runtime error, but the output that it produces is incorrect. That is, it is not producing the exact output we wanted. And this is something that we have faced a lot of times, right? We wanted something to be like suppose we wanted the output to be like this, but we got hello in small letters. Okay, that is a logical error. That means our algorithm is wrong somewhere, or it is flawed, or it is not working fully. In previous one class, it seems like we were trying to remove a at a specific position, but actually it was removing a from other positions also, and sometimes it was not removing a at all. So that was a logical error. Okay, the logic was not correct that time. Fine. And the problem with these errors is that they run without giving an error, and that is why you are not able to pinpoint that error very easily. Fine. Understanding till here?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Understanding, sir.
Okay. So let's see some examples. Okay. So this is if a function being created to add two numbers. Okay.
Yeah,
However, there
colon
is
is
an
not
error.
given.
Colon is not missing, right? Here, colon should be there. So this is a syntax error, right? Since in Python, what is expected is that there should be a colon, there should be indentation. These are the basic rules of Python. And that is why this code will outrightly throw an error, syntax error, and so it can be corrected using colon. Okay. So the most helpful thing here for you people is that first you practice more. That is the most important thing. But even after that, if something is happening, How can you take help is that if you run the code, Python's error message that will actually show something like an arrow will be shown at which place the problem is happening, and you can check what is happening there. Okay, the best way to deal with this. Next comes the name error that is under the logic, not logical, runtime error. Okay, error occurs when a variable or a function that has not yet been created or not defined, okay, that is encountered, can occur even this is something that occurs generally when we are misspelling, like at one place we wrote the spelling wrong spelling, then also this can happen. Okay, or we used a different convention somewhere else, and here we are going for something else. That is why I focus on this every time. I try to follow one single convention, like I will be naming like this, these are the ways to do it, like always remember. So can you
Sir,
find
here
out what is the
nums is
problem?
not given.
Nums is not given. So what will be the solution for this?
So we have to replace nums with numbers.
Numbers.
We need to,
Yes.
Or
yes,
sir, we have
numbers.
to define a variable named nums equal to numbers. That is also applicable, sir.
Yes, but that will be creating an extra variable, right? So this is something that though it looks like when typing, you might be thinking that I am putting the numbers. Nums is equal to number only. But here what is happening that you have defined it as numbers, not nums. Okay. So just changing it to numbers, okay, can correct it. So to have the to avoid this, first is follow single way, follow good conventions, create a convention on your own that I will be doing it like this. Use comments so that you are able to remember things, what you are doing, why you are creating something, and these things. Okay, and then comes that you have to avoid misspelling and these things. Okay. Next is type error. When the code tries to use an object of wrong type. Wrong type means integer, list, float, and these things. When some operator are being used and we are not able to, like that operation is not allowed on that specific type. Okay. So can you spot what is the problem here?
Sir, here my number is in string data type.
String
But
and int.
Yes. Okay. So how can we deal with it?
So we have to remove
sir,
the
we have
double
to
bracket.
convert
We have
the my number
it into
string data
int.
type to int.
Yeah. Just a
We
minute.
can remove the double quotes. The best, easiest option. Otherwise, we can write it, convert it to int.
Yeah. What if it was taken as an input? In that case, we have to, there are two ways. Either we can convert it using this, using int that we have commonly been doing, or if we just have to put it like a string. Suppose we wanted it to be like a string, like we wanted it to be 5, 10. Okay. Sometimes that is also needed, that we just want to join the strings. Okay. Then we can go for this solution, or we can convert it into integer if we want to add 5 plus 10. Fine.
Yes, sir, fine.
Okay. So this can be fixed by using correct type of data. Fine. Next is index error. This is something I think Satish sir asked last time, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the error. Actually, it comes under this only.
Your
Runtime
index
error.
is
So
out of range.
index is out of range. Or sometimes we are not able to call, in fact, that call error, that is part of this one. Type, not type.
Array index out
Name,
of
name.
bounds.
Yeah, these are some common errors that we face generally, right? That we define something that is, because seeing it, it looks like this has 5 elements, so I will go to find the fifth element.
But say if it were -5, then say it would be legal.
Yes, -5 would have been legal because remember we had starting from 0, this said
So
0, 1, 2, 3, 4,
3, 4.
but -1, yeah,
That will be the first element. The 1 will be the answer. Then.
yeah, yeah. So what is the error? How can we correct this?
Sir, simply adding a minus in front of 5 either, or sir, we have to write it as 5 minus 1. That is 4.
Okay, we have to assess this, so we can
5
either write
minus 1.
4 here, 4, because that is the index, or uh, I will give you an example of how these errors are actually handled. That sometimes we don't know the length. Okay, so we can even use if, the if statement. Okay, if the length is more than 6, then go to 5, else print index out of bonds, or we correct it. Or there is something called exception handling. I think I told in the previous class also. Exception or error handling.
Try finally.
Yeah, try, catch, and finally. Okay, so in this case also, the errors that are generated from in the terminal or in the console, that is very useful to identify these errors. Fine. Next comes the attribute error. This is something, in fact, we have done also, right? When a method or attribute does not depend for a given object. That is, like hello is a string here. And remember, we were trying to reverse a string just because we say that hello is most of the list operations are applicable on this string also. That is why we were going for reversing it, right? And we were thinking it would work. But what happened? It was not working. It was giving us an error. So what is the correct way to do it? Reversing a string.
Sir, I think so. Reversed.
Reversed. Yes, reversed. But reversed has one issue. Anyone can tell?
Sir, here we can use slicing.
Yeah, one way is we can use slicing, like we do it using -1, like this, right?
Yes.
Will
Min
not
yeah. Yes, Dhanush, you are saying something?
it won't rewrite the original one.
Yeah, it
Reversed.
will not rewrite. Reverse, along with not rewriting, it has one other problem, that it will give us not a string, but a list of the reversed. It will be a list of O, L, L, E, H. Okay, so we will also have to use join along with reversed. Then it will work. So either we can use like this, okay, or we can directly have converted into a list, okay, and then we could have applied it on this operation, and then reverse would have worked. Fine. Any confusion in this? I think
No,
this
sir.
is an error we already solved earlier, right? We converted it into a list and then used the join function and this thing. And we can even do by directly using a reversed. In any case, a list is generated. That is a problem with reversing the strings. So we went for string slicing. That is also a way. Okay. And I think in one class I explained the string slicing and this thing. Okay.
Yes,
Then
sir.
comes the logical error. Logical error is something that it looks fine. The code will run very fine in this case. Okay. It will give us output also. But in some cases, it can give us wrong output, which is not correct, which is not properly desired. Can anyone tell what is the problem here?
Here, the programmer need to write the program in the correct way. Then only we can able to get expected output, sir. I think so.
Yeah, so like what is the problem here? That is what I'm asking.
The len of number should be inside brackets. Is it so?
No, that comes under syntax error, right? I am talking about logical. This program, if you run, it will work fine. But there is going to be one problem, that is, you see, by default, this actually sum. This is a different function. Okay, I have taken a screenshot. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so it will sum the numbers in a list. Okay, and the output will be an integer. So total is an integer. Okay, len of number is always an integer. We have seen that that is always an integer. Okay, so division of these two may not give us a float output. Okay, so to have a float, though generally in Python, it is automatically done, but in many cases, it can be that the output is to be float. Like suppose it was 9 divided by 2, so it should be 4.5, but you will get 4 only. Since that has not explicitly been defined as float. And sometimes that detailed like after like 4.52 or something, if there is, it is there, that will not be there, that will be removed. So the best way is to define using float, like total sum to be defined as float, like to be converted into float before the division. Okay, and then we will get a floating point number. Okay, these are something like that will not give error. Okay, nothing at all. And in some cases, some of you have reported that, sir, I am doing everything right. 4 of the cases are running fine, but 5th case is not running. Right? This has happened to anyone in assignment questions?
So can you please repeat? Your voice was cut.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So I was asking that have you experienced this problem that sometimes when you create a program, it looks fine, and for out of 4 or 5 test cases, in fact, half of it is working fine, but some of the test cases are not working fine. Has this happened with someone?
Yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah.
In the last week's assignment, sir, I got all the public test cases passed, and out of the 4 private test cases, 1 was the wrong answer. The test case 3 of private case was wrong answer, so I got 75 in that question. So I
Yes.
still didn't
So
understand what was wrong with that question actually.
yeah,
But
that is
7
that
out of
is
8 cases passed, but only 1 was not.
yeah, that is logical error. That means you are getting the output, and for some of the questions, like for some of the assumptions that you are taking, it is working fine. But when other type of problems are given to it, which it is expected to solve, it is not working fine. Okay, this is logical error, and logical error is the most dangerous one, and it can only be resolved using by sitting patiently and then checking every line. What is the problem? Where I have done the logic wrong? Okay, and this is the most dangerous one. I consider it the most dangerous one, and this can be corrected by one thing is that whenever you have a problem, understand the problem very well, that how and how it has to be solved, and what are the things that has to be done there. You must understand this, otherwise it is not going to be fine. And take your time to understand the question, to understand what is asked, what you are expected to do. or if you are doing on your own something, then what you exactly want. If that is clear, then only proceed. Okay. So that is the best way to avoid logical error. Okay. So this is something about errors. And one thing is books certainly, I don't, I have not referred to books for, especially for Python. I myself have learned from different sources in bits and all. But these are some good books that I found are there, like Python Crash Course. This is something that is good. Then Python Cookbook is also said it is very good, and for some a bit advanced, we can go for this also. But a book can certainly not teach you code unless you practice on your own. It is mostly like mathematics. You can learn the theory, the
That is
concept,
the
but you will
reality
have to,
of the world, sir. So that
yeah,
is the reality of anything in this world.
yeah. Otherwise, without practice, you will not be able to learn it. And the concepts there are certainly needed. There are many good things that actually in a video lecture or on online you will not find everything. Either if even if you are in a class or if you are learning from someone, you will need some extra things to learn. That is certainly there. But one single book cannot teach you everything, right? You will have to try a lot. Okay, so after this, let's anything to hear, any confusion, any problems to anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, anyone else? Also, you are free to say, ask anything, not an issue.
Sir, is data structure a part of our course? This course?
No, not much. In fact, we have seen a bit of data structure like NumPy we tried, and we even did that. Even list is a data structure. List
Data structure.
set tuples are also data structure. Okay, so moving forward, let's go to our problems. Okay, so in this week, mostly networks and this has been covered. And in fact, we have covered some networks and uh, these things earlier also. So can anyone tell what is a sync?
A node with no outgoing edges.
Yes, sir. Option A would be correct.
No outgoing. Yeah, with no outgoing edges. What do you mean by that?
Having no neighbor.
Okay.
In the directed graph, the node which has no uh, pointed outwards
Yeah,
edges.
it's like if your code goes there, goes to that point, it cannot come out. In the sense, there is no next step after that. It is something that will stop there, right? In a node, in an algorithm or in code, if we go to that node, it will just remain there. There is no next step after that. So a node with no outgoing edges. Okay. What should we do when we encounter a sink?
C.
D, sir. It's
See, randomly.
D. Randomly.
Okay. This one also. Okay. I need reason for both of them. First, who said C? Why C?
So then we are stuck to, we can't go anywhere. So
Hmm.
we are bound to go in some place randomly, and
Yes.
it is not necessarily neighbor. Any node,
Yes.
at any node we can go there from there.
Yes. And what about D? I think Sakshar said D, right?
No, no, sir. I didn't say D, sir.
Okay. Who said D? Okay. So with D, there is a small problem. That is that sorry that as we have already seen that in a sink there is no neighbor at all. Okay, since we say that in a director graph, whenever we are having some connection, yes, it is a neighbor to someone, but there is no neighbor to it, like one node to another. So this node will be considered a neighbor for, like this is one, two. So two is a neighbor of one, but going back, we cannot say that one is a neighbor of two. In a strict sense, it is, but to understand it, we must understand that since we cannot go back, so we cannot find out who is the neighbor. Okay, or there is no subsequent step. So D will be wrong since neighbor node is not defined here. Okay. Okay. So in page rank algorithm, which of the following is true? We randomly travel from node to node without any relationship. We randomly travel from node to neighbor node. The maximum visited node will be the leader. So B and C are correct, or A and C are correct, or only one of them is correct. Anyone?
B and C.
B and C. Why? Yeah, Greshma.
Can't travel from one node to another without any relation because there is a path.
Uh, can you briefly explain what is page rank algorithm? Not an issue.
Actually, we travel from one node to another
Yes,
in a network.
yes.
Then
This is something that is very commonly used by Google to rank the pages. Like whenever we are having, when we search something, the topmost ranked page comes at the first, then second, and generally we see that if you search something, and till some years back, Wikipedia was the most common thing that used to pop up at the beginning. Now that position is changing, right? We will have some site on the top, like first, second, like
Advertisement.
not that advertise, leave the advertisement thing. For that, ad is written. After that, the search results, they are also ranked, and that is being done using page rank algorithm. So it from your search, it will try to connect, like make a network kind of things, and travel from one node to one connection to other, and like that without any relationship. That is not possible. Okay, with some relationship, like this site is actually related to some site, like it will refer to some site, then some site, like that. Okay, it is a bit complex, I think, not very easy to explain also. And then the maximum visited node will be considered the leader. Like when you find that randomly moving, there is one site that is being connected from different points, that will be considered the leader, the most referred, most cited, you can say. And that is why it will be shown on the top. Okay. So B and C are the correct answer. Are you getting it, or I think I have not been able to explain it?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir, I'm
Clear,
understanding.
clear, clear.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Why is it like this? If we perform the page rank algorithm on the web as a graph, as a as the form of graph, okay, which of the following is true? Websites are nodes, and hyperlinks in websites are edges. Hyperlinks means uh, like we have a page, like let's say it as Joy of Computing, and here we have a Python, very details, but here I'm putting a link to maybe some other page that is like Geek for Geeks, or something else. Then I am again putting something, and then for more details, I am putting a hyperlink here. Okay, to connect to another page. Okay, so what do you think? Websites are nodes and hyperlinks are considered edges. Hyperlinks are considered nodes and websites as edges. And our website will work both as uh, nodes and edges. Which of the following will be correct?
I think option A will be the correct answer.
So I think I will be going for the first option.
Okay, right? Websites are nodes. If we see it logically also, each website we can, like, suppose Joy of Computing is a website, so we can consider it as a node and name it as JOC. Then we have Geek for Geeks. Then we have something like NPTEL, let's say. Then we have something like there are a lot actually. Uh, let's say something, and okay. So like Joy of Computing is referring to this sometimes, and this is actually referring to NPTEL sometimes, and this one, and like this. Okay. So what you see here, which one is the most referred node, which will be the most referred node? Here you see fx. At this point, we are getting the two inputs compared to here three outputs, and here one input, two output. Okay, so this will be considered a leader. So when ranking, it will put fx at the top. Okay, second, it will put gg here. Then it will put an nptel. Then it will put xy, and then it will put joc, like that. It will rank it. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay, so each website will be considered as a node and hyperlink as edges. Okay, now what is the type of the graph here? A triangle graph, directed graph, barbell
Barbell.
barbell graph. Okay, why barbell graph?
Bar is there or bell is there.
Bar is there and a bell is there. So it is mostly about the uh, structure that it looks like. Okay, and why is it not a directed graph? Anyone?
There is no direction shown in the edges.
No direction.
Exactly. We
Yeah,
can't notice any direction.
yeah. If there was a direction, it would have been a directed graph. But just having a direction will not be considered. We cannot consider it as fully directed graph. Uh, if that is going in one direction only, that will be a fully directed graph. Partially directed graph, there are different types also. Okay, so this is a barbell graph. Okay, which of the following is a
Sir,
star
what
graph?
is partially directed?
Like sometimes it is not fully directed. Like some is going forward, some is going backward. Like there are different configurations. Okay, if we see the actual graph, actual nodes, there are a lot of configurations. So for that, let's leave that. That is something that if we go for all different type of networks and this, that is very complex. Okay, so generally we go for some standards. Okay, and what is the best way is that sometimes you might not be able to classify the whole big graph. Okay, so what we do is that sometimes we take one part of it, which like suppose one part of it is looking like a triangular graph, one is looking like a barbell graph, one is looking like fully directed graph. So we say that this part is like just like a mathematical problem, you break it into parts and you separately solve it. using simple ways. Okay, it is done like that.
Sir, I will be going for the first option.
First option, star graph of node 5.
Yes,
All of
sir.
them have 5 nodes, right?
Yes,
So
Yes,
sir.
sir.
this also looks like a star to me.
So this doesn't have
Why?
5 nodes, sir.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 nodes only. And if I create something like,
Sir, this has 10 nodes,
So B is
sir. Option B has got 10 nodes.
no
so
10
sub
nodes are there.
B
Yes,
is a complete graph. B is a complete
yes,
graph.
B is a complete graph. And if I have something like this structure, okay, this will have 6. Yeah. Will this be considered a star of 6 nodes?
Yes, sir.
How? It looks like a star, so
No,
it
sir.
is a star.
No, not really. No.
I put like this.
Yes, sir.
We
Now it
generally
is.
we generally used to draw a star like this in our, like when we were kids. So will this kind of graph be a star graph?
No.
No.
Not
Why?
necessarily, sir.
Why not?
For
Because yeah,
star
yes, sir.
graphs, internode is necessary.
Yes. One node that connects to all other nodes. That is a star node. Okay. So A is the correct answer. Then what will be the uh, output for this? This graph is graph G. Okay. G dot out underscore degree and then in bracket 3. So first, before going to the answer, can anyone tell what will this do? Out degree, and what is this? This number 3.
3 is a node.
3 is the node number. Okay. So in this question, we are talking about node number 3. So which is this one, right? I have to write this one. And what is out degree?
Number of outgoing edges.
Yes, number of the outgoing edges. And this, in this case, see here directions are mentioned. And here directions are mentioned. In case where there were no directions, then we had one thing that whatever be the if there was an edge between two, we considered them as neighbors. But in this case, there is one like incoming neighbor or outgoing neighbor also. Okay, so out degree, like how many out outward edges are here? So how many are there?
5.
5. One is this, 2, 3, 4, and this one, 5, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
And this one is not there because it is incoming but not outgoing. And this from 3 to 5, it is both sided. So it will be considered both as incoming as well as outgoing. So the answer should be 5.
5.
In the page rank algorithm, the leader is decided by a node with maximum number of
Option C,
outgoing
sir.
edges. Option C,
Mm.
okay, which is visited maximum times, right?
Yes, sir. Option
So
C.
see, we have already seen that. A node that is being visited multiple times. Which of the following is true about directed graphs?
B.
Anyone? B. So
Option B, sir.
B. So that is like fully directed graph we are talking about, where it is in unidirectional, we can say. When we are talking about directed graph, that is unidirectional, like going from one in one direction only, moving in one direction only. And that is why we can go from one node to another using single edge, only forward. We cannot come backward since it is single direction. Okay. What will be the output of the following code? Word, hey there, print list word.
Option C, sir.
Option C.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
So it is written as word. So why is not taking hey there like this?
Sir, it's actually extracting each of the letters individually, and then, sir, it is displaying it as.
Yes. Yes. So as we have already seen that actually string is not the collection of words, but string is the collection of characters. Like in our general understanding, when we are talking about a sentence or a string, we consider it to be collection of words. Okay. But here, in case of Python, it is not like that. It is that we consider collection of characters as word and then collection of words as sentence or string. But in this case, any string will be considered the collection of characters, not collection of words. That is why it will be like this. I think only one code today. It is working fine here, right? So this is the correct answer. Okay, now let's come to programming assignment. Yes, yes, Sakshi, you are saying something? Hello. Okay. So write a program to take an integer and input and reverse that integer. Reverse that integer. How can we do that? Anyone?
Sir, using the method which we described which you described some time ago. So that is one of the ways. And the other way is just to run a for loop till the length of the means we have to convert this integer into a string, and then we have to run a for loop from the first letter to the last means from the till the last index of the string, and then we have to use a variable to store the reverse and eventually print the same.
Okay. Anyone else with any other ideas?
Just convert it to string and reverse it
Yes, convert
to
to
string
string
str.
and
Then
then
use reverse method of
reverse and
strings.
then convert back to integer, right?
Yes.
Back to integer. Okay, so let's try this way first. So let's take our integer. Where is my part? Okay, understood. Okay, let's put it as uh, let's put take it as an input. Okay. So it will we don't need to put anything else there, right? Since it is already a string. Okay. Let's put none. So we are taking an input from the number. Then, in fact, here we don't need to convert it into a string, right? Since we already have string. The next what we have to do is that we have to reverse it. How will we reverse it? Num dot reversed right? Num r equals to num dot reversed. Let's see the output here. If I'm putting 1, 1, 6, 7. String object. String object has
We
no
have
attribute.
join function.
Yeah,
Join.
we have to use the join function. So, in fact, it will be like this. Yeah. Let's take the output of this, then we will use the join. So this is just reversing, but it is not showing the exact reverse thing. So we will have to actually uh, do num.
So just reverse can do, not reversed.
Yeah, in that case, we will have to convert it into a list first, right? Now let's put it like this. It's equal to join dot reversed, and then what we will do? Is it the correct way?
No. For join, we have to give the method also.
Yes. With what we have to join, that also we have to give. Anyone? The name join is not defined.
Chords. Uh, just symbol chords dot join. Reverse
Uh,
to.
what we have to do? Yeah. Can you repeat again?
Just chords
Quotes, single
dot.
quotes. Yeah.
One more.
Quotes. One more. Then
Dot.
dot join, and then in
Join.
bracket. This one. So it is okay. I'm printing the same thing. So this is working. One way is this. Okay. But actually, we are not converting here. That two part we are skipping. That is, if we have a number, first we will need to convert it into a string. That we could have done here in the line 2 itself. Like suppose it was an integer. So let's put it as integers. Okay. Okay. So we could have done here itself. We would have put str. Okay. And in this case also, it will work fine. Okay. But here the output is still a string. If we want to make it an integer, we'll again have to put one integer around it, right? Though visually it will not make any change, but since we have to convert an integer into this is the way we should be doing. Fine. Any other way? Yeah, I think someone was telling about converting it into a list and then doing it and putting the reverse, right? This also we can do.
This code
Any other?
fails. This code fails for ending zeros.
I didn't get. Okay,
If
the code.
number is 500, if number is
Yes,
500, then this code fails there.
yes. It will just be 5 only, since we are converting into integer. Yes. Yes. Since that, so the number is same, but we are not getting it as the reverse of the exact digits. Okay. For that, we will have to keep it keep it as a string only, right?
But we want the output as integer, so this is the correct now.
Yeah, this is correct if we go by the logic of the question, because it only says reverse that integer, takes an integer as input and reverse that integer. So in that case, even if it is 5 with 5 zeros, the output should be 5 only, because an integer, if we put zeros, that is fine. Or we can format the integer, but that is something not needed here. And certainly, yes, if someone is trying to have the digits reversed, then this will not work. In that case, we will have to go with the string only. Fine?
Sir, can't we do like this? Num is equals to input and then print bracket num square brackets is to minus 1.
Yes, we can do that. If it is a string, we can do that. String slicing, yes. We can just print num square bracket is to minus 1, right? This is what you are saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this will reverse. This is perfectly fine. But when you want it to be converted into integer, then you will have to either put an integer around it, int around it, or you can go by that other method. Okay. Now let's come to assignment 2. Take a list of string as an input, list of strings, not one string. Okay. And write a program to sort the list of string on the basis of last character of each string, not on the first character, but last character. Okay. If the last character is same, then consider the second last character and so on. Okay. So in this case, you see I, M, M. There are 3. So I is the first character. So by default, Lakshmi becomes the first. Then between Ram and Sam, both are having M. Then the second last, that is both are having A. So it will go for the third last, that is R and Y. And R is before Y. So Ram comes first and then Sam comes later on. So how can we do this? Anyone? Anyone? How can we do it? Any idea?
Sort the list of reverse strings.
Didn't get you. Like, how can we do that?
If we reverse
Reverse
each string,
each string. Okay.
and then
And then,
uh, sort that list of the
yes.
strings.
Yes. Then we sort the list and then reverse it back. Right?
That sorted list will serve our purpose.
But that sorted list will have each word reversed. Like it will be MAR, MAYSH, like that. It will, if we reverse each string and then do this, will it not still be reversed? Let's try that step by step. Okay. So let's put just a minute. I think so. Just a minute. Okay, let's put L equals to let's just write Ram and then what was Lakshmi was there, right? Okay. Now how to reverse each characters, each string one by one. Anyone? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So how can we reverse each string? Like Ram, we have to reverse. Sam, we have to reverse. Lakshmi, we have to reverse. Then we have to sort them, and then we have to reverse it back. So let's first see how we have to reverse it. Each string. How can we do that? Anyone? We have almost completed the course, so I expect that you people be knowing this by now. Anyone? Even if you are wrong, not an issue. Please speak up.
Sir, if you allow, then I can paste my code.
Yeah, please.
I have just done the bubble sort.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Please paste. Split. Why do we need to split it? Okay, that is for I in range length of s minus 1. Okay, this is sorting. Are you understanding what is the question here, Saroj?
Sir, please tell me.
Yeah, what you are saying? No,
Sir,
I am.
Are you asking other question?
Yeah, I am asking from you, what is the problem that we are doing here? Anyone, please feel free to answer. Not an issue. Even if you are wrong, no one is going to judge you. You can speak up. See, we have to first reverse each word. Okay. So the first logical thing is to take one word at a time, right? So how can we do one word at a time?
Using for loops.
We can use for loop.
Using, yes, very correct. For word in L, okay. So each word will be taken. And now let's do one thing, that let's create another list M, so that it is easy for us to uh, do it using append function. Okay. So equals to an empty string. Okay. So for each word in L, we will reverse it and then put it in M. So what we can do is that M dot append. Okay. And what we have to append is the reversed word. How? So we can, as we have already seen, that we can do using join and reversed function, right? So will it be reversed first or join first?
Join.
Join, and then in bracket we can put reversed and then the word. Okay. Will this do, or I think here this should work. And then let's print M to see whether we are correct or not. Okay. So this is fine. This is exactly what we wanted.
Yes.
Okay. Now we have to sort it. How we can do it? Let's put here and dot.
M dot sort is enough. No, it's list.
Yeah. No, I didn't get you. What you are saying?
M dot sort is enough. No, it
Yeah,
is a
not.
list.
Yeah, that's short. Yeah, and let's put this print after it. Now it is sorted. Now again we have to reverse it back. Like each string we have to reverse back. How we can do that? Let's create one more list. For ease, we are creating one more list. In fact, we could have done in L itself by emptying the L first by using del L, or not del L, sorry, removing every character. Okay. Or let's create another list N equals to nothing here. And then how can we reverse it now? Anyone? How will
Like
we
same as
reverse it?
Yes, method.
Yeah, same as the previous method, but here we will just use M instead of L. So in fact, I can copy for now. And I paste, and here instead of L, it will be M. Instead of M, it will be N. And then we can see that print of M, and that should give us the
N. Print N. Print N.
okay, and not M. Yeah. So is it correct?
Yes.
It is what is expected from it, right? So sort is that dictionary kind of thing is actually taken care by the sort itself. Here there will be one problem that might happen, that you see in this case we are using all small. In that case I was using one capital, and what if someone is too stylish and writes like this and like this, or A and then M small, then it will be a problem. Okay, to take care of that, the best idea will be to have index of each numbers, create a dictionary and that thing. But again, that will be something difficult. So what we can do is that we can use all in lowercase. While we are doing this, we can also do that before the reverse, we can even put lowercase. We already have seen that we can convert any string to lowercase and uppercase. We can either use lowercase or uppercase so that all of them are in the same level of comparison. Okay, otherwise what will happen? Anyone? Why we need to convert it into lowercase? Anyone?
Capital Z comes before small a.
Yeah, so capitals come before small, and that is why we'll not be able to sort it like we want. Okay. Okay. Are you clear? Everyone is clear with this? Any questions on this?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's come to assignment 3. Take a student's email ID as an input in the format roll number. Like suppose it is made like this: roll number @institute.edu.in. Okay. And write a program to find the roll number and institute name of the student. Like suppose it is like P P20 E76. Like this is the roll number of someone say 80k dot m. So the design is like that. The first part will be the roll number, followed by followed by IITK, or like whatever is the name of the institute. So there are two things we have to extract from here. That is this and this. So can anyone tell how can we do this?
Sir, here we can use split function.
Yes, very fine. And but here there are two things to be split. Like one is @, other is separated by dot.
Dot
So
edu.
how can we do this? Like both of them, can we do it simultaneously, or we will need to do it in some other way?
So we can first split the first one with the @ and then use the index 1 of the list and then put
Yes,
split dot on that.
yes, exactly. So first we will have to split using @, and then we will have to split using dot. Okay, let's try that. So let's say in and then we will split it, and the split we will
Is
save something.
role is equal to
So we can put role equals to
email dot split
dot split
parameter at the rate.
at the rate will be in quotes. Okay.
Yes.
Then we have to find the institute. So let's put equals to. Then what we will do here?
The email dot split.
No, there is some problem here. Anyone else?
Row square bracket 1 and then dot
Yes.
split.
Role square bracket. Since email contains everything, we just have to take this part. Okay. Role
Okay, sir.
and then square bracket 1. And since we already have created one role, so that the first part of role is fine. That zero index is the roll number. That is fine for us. But the rest part is containing everything. In fact, the website of the institute it should have. Okay. And then we will put dot split. And this will be splitted using what? Anyone?
A dot.
A dot. Okay. Then
And then
what we
square
have to
bracket
print
1.
is, yeah, we have to print two things. That is roll number of the student. And what is that? That is roll and square bracket 0. And then the whole institute is also containing a lot of other things that are not relevant to us. So only the first part of it. Fine. So let's run this. Let's put fine. So you see it is separating it very well. Any confusion or any ideas for this? Any confusion till here?
No, sir.
No. Any suggestion that how we can make it more efficient? Anyone? I think there are many ways to do the same program, right? Someone can go by using the if condition also, that keep storing till you don't find an at the rate. Then you continue and you keep the count. And there are ways, a different number of ways to do it. Okay.
Yeah, sir, we can find the indexes of the @, and first dot, and then
Yeah.
slice the string.
Slice the string using that part. That is a one way. In fact, we can have a lot of ways, right?
We can treat it as a regular function and use the RE module.
What you are saying, Snehal, I am not able to get. Yeah.
So we can treat the input as a regular expression and then use the RE module to
Yes.
like.
We can do that also. Yeah. Any other? Okay. Apart from this, any other questions? Hello. Yeah. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes, Raj.
sir, I'm having a general question about the examination. So will there be MCQs only, or we have to write the code also?
That you will have to post in the discussion forum. Like, I don't know about exams. I have said it many times that actually about exams I am not very well aware of. So you'll have to post in the discussion forum. The TAs dealing with that exams and all, they will be responsible.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, sir. Nothing.
Okay. Okay. So that's all. It was nice having the classes with you all. Okay. And this concludes our session for this semester. Okay. Hope to see you all somewhere. Okay. So thank you all.